Hi, thanks for coming back. Let's do another video. Today, I want to talk about weight and the five S's. What are the five S's that influence your weight? We'll see if you can guess. Go ahead. You got at least one or two? All right, here are the ones that I came up with. Number one, sleep. There is great scientific data that tells us sleep is critical for weight management. People who have really dysregulated sleep, whether that's shift workers who work sometimes the night shift, or whether that's people who really struggle with a sleep disorder or insomnia, anyone who's not getting regular sleep is going to have a harder time regulating their weight. So, your first S is sleep. If you want to manage your weight, work on bedtime, get that set up for yourself. If you need some help, get some CBT for insomnia. That's cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia. And the Veterans Administration put a free app online that does CBT for insomnia. It's awesome. Kind of no frills because it's from the government, but good for them. I love that they put that out there. So, work on your sleep. That's your first S for weight management. S number two of your five S's is stress. I bet you guys guessed that one. When your stress is high, it's really hard to lose weight. Now, some things might feel like they're a little beyond your control. For example, you're in a pandemic, the economy is not where you hoped it would be. There are lots of stressful things that can happen around you or maybe to you, but you can still manage your stress around that by managing the story you tell yourself about it. I'm not going to do a whole stress management session right now. I just want to say there's a lot you can do. That can be mindfulness, that can be meditation, that can be working with a therapist, that can be talking to a counselor. I mean, so many different things you can do. Google stress management. That's a great step forward. So, if you want to manage your weight, work on your stress. And interestingly, we see sort of two different reactions to stress. Sometimes for more acute stress, people will actually lose their appetite and lose weight. Maybe you've seen that with someone you know who's gone through a divorce and they kind of dropped 20 pounds because they just didn't feel like eating. So that can happen. But when your stress level is chronically elevated and you just sit with this chronic higher level of stress for long periods of time, maybe for years, that's got a really negative impact on weight. Why? Your cortisol levels are going up. That's the biggest reason. But lots of other hormones are impacted by sleep deprivation, S number one, and by stress. S number two. Okay, what's the third S? Any ideas? Sugar. Sugar. Don't eat too much sugar. So that's pretty straightforward. There are a lot of strategies for that. That is something that I go into in greater detail in the Oldson Medical Weight Loss Academy. I go into great detail with that when I do one-on-one counseling with people. You can reduce sugar. You don't have to eliminate sugar. I'm a big fan of saying nothing is forbidden. It's a question of how much and how often. So, yes, there is room in your life for sugar. I would rather see you use just real sugar than an artificial form of sugar, an artificial sweetener. But whether it's the real stuff or the artificial stuff, you got to limit the amount. Okay, S number four, social network, your social connectedness, your intimate relationships, your friendships. We have studies that tell us that people are highly influenced by the health and health related behaviors of those around them. So, if you're spending a lot of time with people who are offering you ooey gooey appetizers or abundant desserts, that makes you vulnerable. Or if you're sort of enabling each other, I can think of my own example of that. That my husband and I, in the beginning of the pandemic, would be like, "Hey, you want some wine tonight?" And we would enable each other and pour each other some wine. I mean, no joke. Those kind of things really influence weight. And so we're not doing that anymore, by the way. No more enabling. That's out. But I think it's really important to look at who you're spending time with and see if instead of enabling each other when it comes to treats, you can enable each other with health when it comes to healthy habits, healthy eating, getting together to go for a walk, that sort of thing. So, your social network and the weight of the people you spend time with really influences you. What is the fifth S? Okay, I was going to say it was sex because intimate connections are really good for your mental health, but my parents are probably going to watch this video. So I made a different fifth S, and that is stick to itness. Okay, that's not really a word, but here's what I mean about that. There is great data that tells us the people who lose the most weight and keep it off the best have great perseverance. They stick with it. They mess up, they bounce back. They forget to track their food, they start again. They lose weight and see it start to creep back up. They don't say, okay, that's it. I'm ashamed of myself. I guess I'm never going to be able to manage my weight. No, they get right back in the game. They reach out, they form their team. Are you working with a weight loss physician, a specialist like me? Are you working in a weight loss program? Are you working with a dietitian? Get your team to help you when it's tough. So, this stick to itness is not only when you're first trying to lose weight, also when you're trying to maintain the weight you've lost. But the other thing is just sticking to it over the course of your lifetime. If you're trying to do something really extreme and dramatic, like you're cutting out entire types of food, I'm eating no carbs, or I'm eating no fat, or I'm never going to have sugar or white flour again. I think that really impacts your stick to itness. How can you stick to something that's so draconian, so strict? So give yourself a little flexibility. Nothing needs to be forbidden. It's just a question of how much and how often. And then recognize that you're on a weight loss and weight management journey that will last your entire life. That's okay. Don't let that be depressing. I'm here to help. So thanks for listening. I'll make another one of these videos soon.